I was ready to block it. There.
What the hell is that? All right, so my map. Checking out the map right here. Looks like the protests may have died down a bit, or there are media blackouts in these cities. There's a lot of reports coming through of cities under media blackout. One of them was Columbus, Ohio. Or actually, I'm sorry. Sorry, to start, one of them was the White House or Washington, D.C. That was the main one where the supposed media blackouts were occurring. Oh, I believe I'm not sure if it's just not loading up. I think that might be it. Let me try to configure this, but I did see some clips coming through from the White House. In front of the White House, they are gathering. They're still protesting, and there are a lot of news media outlets out there that are reporting. So there are eyes out at Washington, D.C. The protesters seem to be fine. I haven't heard of any reports of any protesters being harmed or imprisoned wrongfully. Many people are saying that the media blackouts are so that they can do their dirty work or whatever it is that they plan on doing to get this under control. Which at this point might take just they're doing. So I think we're just going to look at some of the aftermath from Washington, D.C. As you can see, some of you saw some of the images that were being posted on yesterday. They were showing the city was pretty much under fire. The White House, and they gave the White House. At that point, the White House turned off their lights. I believe it was since 1856 they haven't done that. So I don't know exactly what the significance of that is, but definitely need to keep an eye on that. These protests have grown larger than just the United States. They have made their way around the world in places like the Netherlands and Ireland. I believe they have some protests going on. We'll check back on them. Australia is having protests as well, and so is New Zealand. Those are the current cities I have found where they are having protests for George Floyd and Black Lives Matter. So this has spread to bigger than just the United States. I've been covering this the past few days, and I've been seeing it grow from just one block in Minneapolis to the city, to the surrounding cities and major cities around the United States, to where pretty much every city protest. That sends a clear signal to everybody looking outside or from the outside in that we are in distress, and definitely there's something wrong with the system. If it's to get everyone else to agree that protesting is bad and so forth and this and that. But these the incidents that occur in these cities are not the protesters that are inciting these incidents, but agitators, and there are groups out there organizations, well-known organizations that are out there organizing these riots, and their sole purpose is to go out there and organize these riots. Well, I did see a lot of images where there was militiamen going around the city and protecting the actual protest. So they were there just to keep the peace in between the police and the protesters, basically enabling the protest to continue after the hours of protesting.
So, ¿va a haber otra protesta el día de hoy?
So,
Ahí están poniendo
they
la
had
madera.
armed militiamen on the side of the protesters, guarding that one block so that the protesters can continue protesting, and also making sure that the protesters are there to protest and not to riot. So there are armed militiamen standing up in different cities.
This is like chaos.
There are states. I don't know. I think it's like 23 states that have the castle law, basically enabling anybody to be able to shoot somebody to protect their property. But I have a feeling that may turn sour, as some people may take that out of context and just shoot protesters, because they are there's a whole big group of people that are saying that all protests are bad, and they're just categorizing protest as a bad thing because of what occurs shortly after the protest, which is like I've explained, there are several groups out there, well-known organizations. I believe one of them was named by Donald Trump as Antifa. Basically, this is a what's going on is basically a movement, and all these factions are just coming together for whatever it is. I don't think everyone has the same goal in mind, or the same specific goal in mind when they do this. But they do the one thing that they do share is that they want change. So it's not everyone is coming together
More
for
for you.
one specific reason, or one specific incident or anything like that. What happened with George Floyd was pretty much the last straw for many Americans, and that just set off a whole series of events that have led us to this point. Where from what the looks of it, these protests are going to continue all around the nation. These cities, yesterday, if you were watching my streams, there were more, definitely way more
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Alberta.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Carrying
Everything on top! Your supervisor has some slight shit to say!
Your president!
Welcome! Do not
This is the biggest protest in Canada. I don't know if you've seen many protests out there, but these events that have occurred, basically, Anonymous, it came out of the shadows and resurrected. So they have been putting information little by little. What the word is that they have tons of information that they are ready to leak. Tons of information that'll incriminate many officials and many high-ranking Hollywood or people or celebrities and this and that. You may have seen some of it. Um, I mean, it's like it's a revelation of stuff that's going on. So like there's going to be a lot of weird stuff going on this week, and from here on out. So if Anonymous does happen,
You can't go out. Boss said Boris.
release it.
Fuck you, Boris.
I don't know what will happen, but it's gonna be different. And it's not just incriminating one party, the Democrats or Republican. It's incriminating a lot of people in politics, and that their side of politics doesn't matter. Blue and red sides, they're both involved.
Oh, listen, guys, dispense our block party, fam. It's gonna be lit, fam.
Together.
Trust me.
Once
No one's gonna fucking disturb us, guys.
sure
Trust me.
what's going to happen, and it's also it's not just government officials in the U.S. It's government. So this is a global uprising, and eventually they'll be releasing all that information. We got to keep a close eye on the Vatican. One thing that there's a lot of people saying that they are going to protest outside of the Vatican in hopes to rush it. I mean, last night was proof that it's impenetrable. The White House, it was broken into. So I think what people are expecting from this, if the laws don't change, or if there are no policies that are changed, people are going to want some kind of transparency. They're gonna want to know what's going on exactly. They're gonna want to have access to this information and such. Basically empowering the people again. That's what their goal, or that's what I think may de-escalate the situation. I think the time to talk has passed. It's been like about a week, and the president of the United States hasn't made any public press or anything. He hasn't come out and spoken of this. So I think that time has passed. Just like within the first days since George Floyd was murdered, they could have taken care of it that same week, but instead they chose to stand their ground in what they did. And the time for, like, they had their chance to do it, and they just chose to stand their ground, and it was clear in plain sight of murder in daylight. There's no way around it. No way. Like that's an automatic thing. Like you literally saw one man kill another man on camera, and I mean, they could have taken care of it right away, but they chose to go the route that they did. And now I think it's past beyond that point where we can actually fix this. So I'm having a little problem with the map right now. As we saw, there's some protests going on in Canada. I'm trying to check some of to see if there are any protests happening elsewhere, rather than the place that I was checking. Like I was saying, Australia is one of the cities. Apologies about that. So Australia is one of those cities in Perth, Western Australia state. They are having protests for Black Lives Matter. I think there goes the audio. So this is occurring in Australia. These protests have gone worldwide. So it's not just in one city. It's not just in one state, one side of the country. It's the whole world coming together. That's what they're doing. I don't think the world has ever united like this. This is very historical, a moment that will forever be. Australia. I believe all those images were from yesterday. The current time in Australia, I'm not sure what time it is over there. I think it may be somewhere like early night, like early morning. They also had protests going on in New Zealand. Not just the United States.
Okay, so I want everybody here to make some noise for some of the most powerful people behind this film. Lulu.
That's my sister! Hey, Josiah, sister!
There are gonna be some dumb motherfuckers out there. In their own way. Doesn't exist. So I just saw in New Zealand that they had protests occurring yesterday. So I don't know if the protests are going to continue today, but definitely we're gonna see other signs of protests around the United States and the world. All right, I just had to answer a quick text. I'm keeping an eye on Buckingham Palace. So far, nothing really is going on there, but that's going to be interesting. Well, actually, no. Looks like there's a crowd of police trying to figure out what to do. I don't know if it's because of protest or they know that people are going to protest. Things are very different over there. They've experienced protests before and riots, major riots, and it's Like they know what's gonna happen or what's gonna go down. All right, so I don't see anything there.
Around the world, guys, we are gonna make a change. We are gonna make a difference. What's the fence in? Around the world, guys, we are gonna make a change. We are gonna make a difference. What's the fence in? Around the world, guys, we are gonna make a change. We are gonna make a difference. What's the fence in? Around the world, guys, we are gonna make a change. We are gonna make a difference.
See, protests are occurring all over the world. Okay, so we're gonna check out some other cities. So I don't know if any of these are protests. There's a lot of activity in those areas, but I think Snapchat is very prominent in Saudi Arabia and places around it. Let's check back on the United States. As you can see, I've added a few friends from around the country that are out there filming the protest. People from all over the country. I'm trying to add as many people as I can. If you get another look, because I know that sometimes they don't upload every video that they get at the protest. Will we see any protest coming from South America? I'm not sure. We already know that they have been going through some stuff of their own. That caravan was partly why they, or the caravan was because they were leaving their corrupt country or whatever. Search for a better one. I think they managed to get that under control. Again, I'm just searching for images from around the world. There are a few cities already protesting. If you know any other cities that I haven't checked on here, let me know in the comments. I don't know if France is a protest.
Da, 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 da.
See that France is pretty quiet.
Dit is kapot groot, mensen. Wat is het beu? Niet normaal, man. Ja, zeker dorst.
Ass right here, man. Miracle, sit your ass right here, man. Man, you know I hate to wait. That's why I get it first and you.
مبينة جلموه مغيم. يابا يقول لك عيد التمشمش العالمي اليوم. هذا معرض يا اخي، معرض لوحات ابو الليرة هذا يا اخي. بس تعرف باسك بلاك هذا شنو هذا؟ بده يضربك بلوك هذا قال. هذيك من غير اليوم غريقة.
Demonstrations are occurring in Amsterdam. I'm going to try to have a little ticker here at the bottom showing the different cities that are currently under protest all over the world. We keep a close eye on this. Definitely some crazy developments occurring. This is a worldwide issue. This isn't just here in the United States. Apparently everyone in the world is fed up with it. So I just wanted to update you guys a little bit on what's going on around the world. We're going to take a peek at we took a peek at Washington, D.C. I keep showing, it keeps on zooming into the little emoji guy. Carol. Steady running from the they're just driving. So 2 cities in Georgia currently there's protests already forming.
What's up, guys? So I just got this 6S Plus. They wanted me to change. Now you see all the components I had to take off from this screen right here. It was terribly damaged, to this new screen right here, and then put them back all in here with the brackets and everything. You see these small little tedious screws. You got to be very careful while doing it because you don't want to miss a screw. All right, let's get it. Oh shoot!
Yeah, you know.
See there are protests occurring. until they get till the cops show up, you know.
Wants to make sure we are heard. And nothing will break our resolve to bring prosperity to Watts by the people of Watts for the people of Watts. All of us here join the millions of protesters across America demanding justice. And justice means this. Justice means that all offending officers involved in the George Floyd incident are charged and arrested. We don't, including those officers who witnessed what took place. We don't have peace in America because justice continues to be unequal in America. Let me say this, even as an LAPD officer, served a blessed 15 years. I showed the heart behind my badge as many of the officers here continue to do.
My bitch don't like no bitch. Limo 10 on fat, my car, yeah, I had it hurt. So my bitch broke back.
Shit for sale. Shit for sale. Y'all better get it while it's good and hot.
What?
I ain't playing. I'm just saying. God damn.
What the fuck? You can see there's protest.
Shit for sale. Shit for sale. Y'all better get it while it's good and hot.
There's shit.
I ain't playing. I'm just saying.
No.
God damn.
Little do they know that.
Shit for sale. Shit for sale. Y'all better get it while it's good and hot.
So if they do choose to.
Shit for sale. Shit for sale. Y'all better get it while it's good and hot. I ain't playing. I'm just saying.
It's built.
God damn.
These devices have a tracking device, and I'm sure they keep track of every single serial number that comes in through their store in case of situations like this. Riots and looting isn't something new. I'm sure it's something that they've prepared for. But the small businesses that are being affected, it is very tragic, but I also wish that people were in this much uproar when COVID-19 was destroying small businesses like it was. And I believe it still is hindering a lot of small businesses that built their business around community.
I think my cat's dead.
That they can't restrictions and stuff, but they could go ahead and visit the big box stores. And I'm not sure what to say about that, but that's something.
It blew up.
Discussion. Avocado milk.
Listo, guys. Van a quedar vidrio. Órale, mugrosillos. Dime, muñequito. El hijo de Chucky.
Te sumas la Mazatán, te voy a pedir hasta Yecora, tomé Bacanora y en Soyopa, y por Aribesh y volví a tomar, llegando Hermosillo a la capital, te marco una morra pa' cotorrear, por la Colorada y por una vas, por Guaymas y el Palme me fui a pistear.
So I just checked in on the West Coast to see what's going on. I like to give it a little time before I check on the cities because it takes about 10-minute delays, or not 10-minute delay, but usually the snap maps upload every 10 minutes. So it's not exactly live coverage, but I do cover a lot of the United States. If you want to know what is going on in the United States and around the world, just let me know. If you're curious about a city, if they are having any demonstrations or protests, minus some cities that are highly where these apps are highly censored and they have their own apps. I think one of them is China. I think they had like media blackouts and stuff. But during the COVID, before the COVID-19 lockdown, I was keeping a close eye on the Wuhan district. I don't remember exactly where it was. Somewhere in here. There we go. So I would keep a close eye on the Wuhan district. Fire! That they were not showing on the news. This format of show going, but this is definitely something I'm going to keep. I'm going to keep this tool to inform people of what's going on and what I can see and what I've been seeing, without being too politically biased. I've been saying my thoughts and what I think about the protests and the riots, and I feel like I've been explaining myself very well. I do support protesting and speaking your voice, and also speaking your voice on your own terms. I don't believe in censorship, and I don't believe in being shut up, because that's if you know me, it's kind of hard to do that unless you're in some kind of power to mute me or whatever. So that's my take on the protest. But the riot and the looting, I know what's going on there. I know that it's not all it's not the protesters that are doing that, and I know that it's entirely different groups that are out there that are out there with them. So there's different organizations that are out there, well-known organizations too, that are out there doing this. But it's not that they're working towards the same goal. Or they're out there and they all say that they're there for the same thing. But if you want to look at it in a closed-minded aspect, you just want to think that this is all about just getting justice for George Floyd. But in reality, it just spun into a whole uprising and revolution, which is happening worldwide, not just in the United States. But everyone is aware that there is a problem and that it needs to be fixed, it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed now and today. And that's what the protest is about. Rioting, looting is bad. Cops enforcing their crooked policies are bad. So it's just a parallel, but they just don't like these people out there that are protesting, and the ones that are rioting, looting. They're out there for the same reason, and the reason is that they want some kind of change. Some of them are out there because they are hurt and they are affected by the they're affected by the policies and just the police brutality and so forth. And then there are people out there who are just tired of seeing their friends and their family being hurt, and there are some people out there who are just tired of it all. I don't know. Let's if you're religious, say a prayer for the world, because it's about to get heavy. I have a feeling things are going to get pretty ugly soon. So I'll try to keep you guys updated with as much as I can. Let me know if you want me to do an update of any city. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for a second, and you can catch me later. I'm probably gonna go eat something or something. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the flip side.